Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is DeLorean, and if you're new to my channel, make sure you subscribe for more videos. Okay, so let's just jump right into it. So as you can tell by the title, this video is going to be about how I paid off my student loans in 1 year. So I'm just going to share with you guys some tips that I used to get through that year to pay off my student loans. So the first tip that I have for you guys is that you have to be dedicated, and you might have to make some sacrifices throughout the time that you're taking to pay off these loans, because it's not easy at all. So this goes into my second tip, which is re-evaluating your spending. So if there's any bills that you have that you can cut out, cut them, because you're gonna need that extra money to put on that loan. If you're spending $5 a day on lunch, you work 5 days a week, that's 25 bucks that you could be putting aside and putting on that loan, or maybe just even saving. So definitely I would say cut any unnecessary bills that you have. If you have anything like a car note that's way too expensive, look in the market for another vehicle that might be less expensive and something that's going to lower your payments, so that you're able to use that money towards your student loans for however long you need to, or just to put towards savings. For me, in my experience, what I did was I actually ended up getting a different vehicle because I was paying a ridiculous amount on a truck that I had. And I said, you know what, I don't need this truck. I can go for something else, something cheaper, but the car is still cute. So I ended up being able to lower my payment by $200, and that actually helped me a lot to be able to put that extra money towards the student loan each month, so that I would be able to pay it off in a year. Just make the most of what you have and limit your spending as much as you can. Now, I'm not saying that you have to live a life where you can't do anything at all. Of course, in your budget, you want to make sure you have some leeway for whatever fun activities you want to do, or if you want to go out to dinner at least once a week, or go out to lunch at least once a week or twice a month, something like that, that's fine. Just budget for that and make sure that you have the money set aside to do those type of things. But you just don't want to overspend, and you don't want to do too much so that you're letting a lot of money go to waste, money that could be going towards a loan that you want to pay off, or any other bills that you want to pay off quicker. Another important thing that I did in order to pay off my loan quicker, and what is probably the most important out of all of the tips too, is to make extra payments. But in order to make those extra payments, you do have to follow the first two tips, because if you don't have money set aside to make those extra payments, then where is it going to come from? So what I did was I pretty much just tripled up on my payments, and I went to a website called studentloanhero.com, and I went to their prepayment calculator to see how much I would need to pay each month in order to get my loan paid off in 1 year. So when you go to this website, you put in information about your loan. So they're going to ask you your loan amount, your current loan amount, and then they're going to ask you how much your interest rate is, and then you'll put in the amount of years you want to take to pay this loan off. So for me, what I did was I kind of jumbled with it a little bit. So I would put in like how much I would have to pay monthly if I were to do 2 years, or how much I would have to pay monthly if I were to do just 1 year. So I got those amounts, those total amounts, and then I looked at my current monthly bills and how much I had to put extra towards that loan. And from there, I decided that I can do the 1 year, and I just had to make some sacrifices. Like I said, just get a cheaper car, or just cut out an unnecessary bill that you might be paying on. And so after I figured out what the amount would be per month that I would have to pay for 1 year straight, I made sure that I took a screenshot of that so that I can know, and so that I can remember what I would have to pay each month, and also just as a reference to look back on, so that once you're making payments throughout the year, you're remembering that, okay, this is where I started off at and this is where I am now, just to show your progress. That gets you more motivated to pay it off and not just fall off midway through because you're tired of making all these extra payments, because you might have to dish out a lot depending on the amount your loan is. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys an example of what it takes to pay off a loan in 1 year. So one of the loans that I had was $4,000, and I graduated in 2011. The term of the loan was 20 years, so it would take me up until 2031 to pay that loan off. As I was making payments, I was only doing minimum payments on the loan, and that's where a lot of companies get you at, because if you're just doing minimum payments, you're only making payment towards the interest of that loan and not towards the principal amount of that loan, which is the original amount that you were loaned. So all this time I'm really just paying on interest, but at the same time they were increasing the interest rate of my loan, so it just seemed that they were adding more and more interest each month onto the initial amount that I owed. So in 2016, when I actually really sat down to take a look at how I can pay this loan off quicker, I saw that I had already gained about $3,000 in interest since I graduated. From there, I was just really like, I need to pay this off as soon as possible, because I knew the longer I took to pay it off, the more interest that would be added on. So in 2031, I could possibly end up paying back triple the amount of what was owed on that loan. You don't have to pay your loan off in a year if that's not what you want to do, but you can also choose to pay it off in 2 years, 3 years. But just think about it. If your loan, if you have a 20-year repayment plan and you can get it paid off in 5 years, that makes all the difference, because you're also saving money in the long run on interest, because as the years go on, the company might raise the interest rate, which is adding more money on to what you initially owed. But again, you can play around with the calculator and see what you have to pay, and then, like I said, just take a look at the bills that you have and then figure out what you can afford. Alright guys, so that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. And if you have any ideas for future videos that you would like to see, let me know. And make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.